Hi everybody, it's Kelly from Our Blue Door Home. Thanks for coming back and joining me as I test recipes from my family's cookbook. This is a cookbook that I developed several years ago and it needs a bit of an update. So we are testing it and I want you to come along. So today we're making pasta pesto, which is why I have this amazing bouquet of basil that I just harvested off of my basil plant. And before we go into the kitchen and start the recipe, I wanted to talk a little bit about basil. Pesto can be made with lots of different ingredients, but I think the best and the original is basil. And so you can certainly get your basil at the local grocery store, but if you happen to want to plant your own basil, which is really easy to do, I would choose Genovese basil. It is a milder flavor than your sweet basil, which I think has more of a licorice flavor. If you like licorice, then go for the sweet basil, but Genovese basil, in my opinion, is the best to use. Let's go into the kitchen where we're gonna make our pesto pasta. So we're back in the kitchen now and we're gonna put this pesto together. I happen to have a videographer today, so I'm pretty excited. Say hi, videographer.
Hi.
So we're making a really nostalgic meal. This is a meal that I had with my family growing up in the summertime. It's lamb chops, the pasta pesto, and a big salad. So my sous chef, my partner in life, and my videographer has been doing the lamb chops. So I want to tell you about the ingredients we're going to use today. Of course, you know about the basil. There's 3 cups in here. We've cleaned and dried it, so it's in a food processor. And I want to tell you about the oil that I'm using. A lot of people will just put garlic in the pesto, and that is totally fine. I find it to be a little bit strong, so I infuse garlic in some oil, and I showed you how to do that a little bit earlier. So that's what we're gonna use for our oil. We've got Parmesan cheese, we've got pasta water, salt, pepper, and instead of pinoles or pine nuts, I don't have any. So we're gonna test using almonds today. I just toasted these up. It's about 1/4 cup. And this mascarpone, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with that in a little while. So let's get this started. I got the basil leaves. We're gonna put some salt and pepper over just to taste, so whatever you like works really well. And we're also going to put the almonds in here as well, and we're going to pulse. So you want this to get all pulsed up. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we're going to start to put our oil in, and I can't really give you an exact amount. This is a cup of oil to 3 cloves of garlic that I've sliced. You put it in until it's sauté. That looks pretty good, actually. I used almost a 1/2 cup on that, I think. So, but it's all gonna depend. I'm going to just use my spatula here to get it down. That looks like a really good consistency that I like. Everybody's different in how they like their pesto, but I like it saucy.
The cheese will bind it and bring it together.
Exactly.
Correct?
So you want it to be a little bit saucier. Next step, you gotta have a pasta bowl that says pasta on it. Of course. So, because I don't think it would be the same if you didn't. Let's get that, get every last bit of it. Now, videographer, are you gonna eat the garlic that's in there in the oil? Maybe
Yes.
later. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so we see how nice and saucy it is. You know what I didn't do is I didn't use my mascarpone, but we're gonna do it right now. So we're just gonna melt it in here. It'll melt in with the pasta. So we're gonna put it up, I'm putting like a large tablespoon in. And we're gonna, normally I would put that in with in the food processor, but now I like things creamy. And this is not in the original recipe, but I used to do this all the time. So we're going to add it in and see if we like it. It's another thing we're sort of testing. So let's see if we think that that is enough. Okay, I'm gonna actually try about another tablespoon. Let's see, that looks like it might be. So that would be 2 tablespoons. Okay. Now the other thing I'm going to do is add our Parmesan. Earlier you saw that I took a large block of Parmesan and I ground it up in the food processor before starting the pesto. So that's a good trick. I don't think we're going to need 2 tablespoons. The recipe says 1 to 2 tablespoons of pasta water. And the reason you do that is because it helps the pasta bind to the, or helps the pesto bind to the pasta. That's looking good. Does it smell good, videographer? All right, now I'm going to bring the pasta over. We're using linguine, a half a pound, I guess, because there's a pound in the box. And we like linguine. You can use whatever pasta you want. I think linguine, the flat surface of the linguine kind of just holds the pesto really well. This is so good. Okay, come back and we're gonna plate this up. All right, now we're ready to plate it up and eat it. It looks so good. So we've got our lamb chops, and I will put the recipe for the lamb chops also on the blog. They're also in the cookbook, and you did great. Perfectly grilled. A beautiful tossed salad, and here is our pasta pesto. So my videographer here has already tested it and said that it is really good. So you would say thumbs up on the mascarpone, thumbs up on the almonds are fine?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously pine nuts are the more traditional, but there you go. Pasta pesto, lamb chops, and a salad. The perfect summer meal. Thanks for joining us.